Okay, next let's talk about curation. Okay, what do I mean by curation? Curation of businesses for any pop-up. Places like Zaxalam. I'm going to keep comparing to Zaxalam because that is an event that everybody knows about, like how it looks and all, right? There are tons of clothing shops, tons of accessory shops, people selling the same stuff. Okay, year after year, that has been the format, and something must have been working for it to continue to run that way, right? As all of us know, Zat Salam, the main point of competition is prices. So crowd comes in because of better prices, good prices, and they may go to shop A and they see that it's a bit pricey. They may be able to find the same thing in shop B, and then they'll go there and just get it. So a lot of it, the competition is based on prices alone. Okay. But when it comes to local vendors, we cannot compete with each other on the same basis, right? And I've spoken a little about this in my previous week. We import a lot of stuff. We bring in stuff from other countries mostly, whether it's custom made, whether we are buying and selling, whatever it is. So our cost naturally is higher. So we cannot slash prices the way overseas businesses can, because they may get their products directly from a wholesaler and their cost of goods is much cheaper compared to what we may be able to bring in. And the economies of scale are very different because they can buy in bulk, and when you buy anything in bulk, naturally you are going to get better prices. But small businesses, we don't have that kind of liberty. So we already start off with a cost that is slightly higher. So we cannot be competing with each other based on prices, right? And if there's going to be 2-3 clothing stores or accessory stores, whatever stores selling the same things, how are we going to let the customer decide who are they going to buy from? And it is going to be very tough. So this is something that I'm also mindful when going into pop-ups. Like, how does the organizer curate businesses for the pop-up? Because if there are going to be multiple businesses selling the same product and my customers are going to come in, they are going to come to my shop, see my stuff, and then they will be like, okay, let's go to the other shop, see, and then they may get there, or maybe they will be just confused, and then they may just go back buying nothing. So that is where curation comes in, because if you are going to organize a pop-up with multiple vendors, 50-60 vendors selling very similar items, multiple businesses selling the same items, slight differences, it's going to be very confusing for customers, and everyone is at a loss. The customers cannot decide because too many products are being presented to them. It's very hard for them to make a decision, so they may not buy, right? Or they might buy in an impulse at a shop and then just walk off and may not even give the other businesses a chance. That is one thing, because it is quite overwhelming. And secondly, because of this, the businesses who came for the pop-up are going to suffer, because I did not have a fair chance of showcasing my product for you to decide whether you want to buy or not, and that is an issue. So being very selective about the businesses that are going to be part of the pop-up is very important, the type of business. So I really appreciate all those organizers who really curate the businesses who are going to be. And even I have organizers coming and telling me, you're selling different items, can you don't bring in this particular item for this pop-up because there's another vendor who is doing. And I'll be like, okay, fine, no problem at all. I'll be able to still bring in my other products, But that's also up to me, whether I'm okay with that or not. If I'm not okay, I don't go for the pop-up. But if I'm okay with it, then yeah, that's fine. So it's very important for organizers to be transparent about what is it that they want from their businesses. There's going to be another vendor this, so I'm not selling it and I'm fine with it. So expectations are already set, you see. So I don't go in being disappointed and stuff like, hey, somebody else is selling my product also, and then like, who is customer going to buy from, right? Yeah, we are in Singapore. There's a group of us selling very similar products, and that is fine. when the space does not allow you to showcase your products the way it should be, then no, that may not be the space for you, for me lah, in this case. So this is when the breathing space that I was talking about is so important, because we put in so much of effort to make sure our display, the way we organize the things in our booth look different, look very enticing to customers and all. But if I go and place it in a place where there are so many other vendors, that is okay. The number of vendors, okay. But overall, it looks very messy, and I don't know what that means for my brand anymore. It doesn't feel like I'm in a place that is fit for my brand, right? So all of us sell different types of product, and we try to tell a story about where we come from, why we sell the things we sell, and what it means to us. So all of us form our own branding. But when your brand sits in a place that is not fit for it, then you need to question whether that is the space for you lah. Yeah. So these are things that have come to me recently. I'm not saying that in my first few pop-ups I already knew all this. I did not know. It took me time to realize, to understand, to learn all of this. But what I'm sharing with these thoughts, maybe you can start thinking about it already when even going for your first pop-up, you know? Yeah. So that is when curation matters. Okay. And secondly, the number of hours. Zak Salam is a 12-hour shift. It starts from 10 to 10. And Thursday morning, Friday mornings, there may not be much crowd. Very little, in fact. But you know, because Singaporeans, we are working, right? A lot of us are working, and we'll go shopping after. So the crowd comes in, especially Friday evenings, Saturday maybe the whole day, Sunday the whole day. And Sunday is when you know you need to work like sales like crazy. That's when you make the money. So you go in with all these expectations, and you know you need to be able to withstand the 10 hours there. 10 hours or 12 hours there, right? So you come in prepared, you come in, and all of us have a booth, right? So in Zak Salam, it's a bit different because as a whole, the place is air conditioned, okay? But even then, you make your space, your booth, comfortable for you, comfortable for your business. So if you need lighting, you can put extra lighting. You can bring in your own fans. You need to bring in your own chairs. You bring in your own chairs. You need extra tables inside. You bring in yours or you rent. As long as you are within your booth. So having done Zak Salam 3 times now, every time I've done it when I was pregnant, and I've done it when I delivered, I've had a baby, I had my son in the pop-up. So when you have all these elements going on for you, you need to make sure that comfort is there. You are able to sustain the 12 hours and get back home in one piece. So you will be able to do all of that. But when you're part of other pop-ups where you are only given a space like a table and chair, maybe a rack and stuff, like a space for yourself, there's no boundaries dividing you from other people. So you need to you won't be able to really bring in your fan lah, your I don't know, a lot of lighting lah, all these things. So this is when it comes, the responsibility is pushed slightly towards the organizers to ensure that there is enough ventilation, the lighting is right and all, because we ourselves are not, the place is not letting us being equipped to form these conditions for ourselves. So we are reliant on the organizers to form the conditions for us. So that's why being able to have a comfortable space, especially if it's long hours, is very important. Okay. 12 hours works for Zak Salam, but I don't know whether 12 hours or even 10 hours works for other pop-ups that are on a smaller scale. Because, like I said, Zak Salam, the crowd is throughout the day. Am I right? Yeah. Except maybe Thursday mornings and Friday mornings, right? Yeah. And that's fine because we know that is when we can organize, we can set up the shop and all, right? But for other places, when you go there, especially if you're living very far from the pop-up and all, and travel all the way there, you are seated there for the entire day, okay? So to have crowd for 12 hours, is it realistic or not? Is something that we all need to think about. Just because they say pop-up is from 10 to 10 or 8 to 8 or whatsoever, or even 12 to 8 doesn't mean there'll be a crowd throughout the day, and you must be prepared for it. I appreciate another thing that I appreciate is for organizers to tell us earlier in time, like maybe from this time to this time there may not be much crowd, you may want to go back home and you may want to come back and all, or you can do your other things, but you can expect no crowd during this period. So you go in with the expectations that like, okay, afternoons are going to be quiet, nobody usually comes during this period unless you have your own customers making appointments with you. Hey, I'll be in the area at this time, will you be there, that kind of thing. Then yeah, you will have your customer lah. But otherwise, you knowing that you don't have a much crowd during that period, mentally you are set, and then you can plan for it, whether I want to go back home and rest, or whether I'm going to go shopping, or is it something for me, right? For me, you know what I do? This is my me time. So when it's my me time, I'll actually go for a massage. There's a shopping center nearby. I'll go for a massage. I'll either go and get my hair. I'll go for a nice meal. I'll go for mani-pedi. So this is my wellness time, my me time, because I'm a mom, and as caregivers, we don't have a lot of time. So my pop-up days are also my me time, which I really appreciate that quiet time a lot. So I make use of it, and this is okay. It's not, oh, I'm like, no, there's no guilt, there's nothing, because I already know that time there's not going to be any sales, so I'm going to go and get refreshed, and then I'll come back. So this is revival of soul, and that shouldn't be compromised for anything. So I'm a strong believer of that lah. Okay, having known that that period is going to be dull, I can go and plan and do my own things, and then I come back refreshed for an evening of sales. So that is something that will be nice. But not all organizers are going to know which part of the day is going to be busy and all. But to be honest, if you are thinking that it's going to be 10 hours or 12 hours of full sales, it's going to be crowded all the way, unless you are in a shopping center in the middle of a plaza and stuff where there's constant crowd, people walking in, walking out, that's a different story. Then you need to be on your toes, all ready to work throughout the 10 hours, and that's fine. But if you are in a more isolated place, like be it in a private studio, maybe even within a shop, or maybe even in a temple, but temple's afternoon they are closed, or in the temple but the wedding hall is far away from the main temple area, crowd may not even know that there's an event going on in the wedding hall, or maybe they may think there's a private event. So such locations, to have like such long shifts, like long hours of pop-ups, this is my personal opinion, I don't think it's very realistic. It's not very realistic lah. But it's up to every individual to make their choice. Yeah, but these are some observations that I have made. Yeah. And another important thing, lighting. For any business, be it clothing, accessories, anything we may sell, right? Any product, be it a bag, a crochet item, a food product, everything requires light. Some businesses need more lighting than others. Okay, like to bring out the beauty in the dress or whatsoever, or even, for example, for me, my tourings, right? They all have stones, kallu, right? To bring out the shine, to show the silver, the metal, I need proper lighting. And when lighting is not in place, I don't have sunlight, or the lighting is very dim, those kind of cozy places, it doesn't work well for me. Yeah. So I learned. I bought my own lighting. So as long as there is PowerPoints for me, I'm settled. I'll bring my lighting and I will shine it on my stuff, and then it makes a difference. It may not be ideal, but it makes a difference. But that means I need PowerPoint around me, right? I need a source of electricity near me. If not, I'm not able to do that also. So lighting is very important. And like in Zak Salam, like I said, I'm able to add all the additional light, like just make my booth so bright, and like make it very enticing to stand out from all the other businesses there. But all these smaller pop-ups, I'm reliant on the organizer for PowerPoints. I'm reliant on the organizers for the lighting itself if PowerPoints are not available. And I might be a brand new business who may not have the knowledge to bring in lighting and all. So having locations with good lighting is as important as just finding a location. So that is another important thing that I wanted to talk about, and things that is going to make me choose how I choose a pop-up.